Hello, it's Soul with another video. I'm home. Yeah, I'm home, and like this padding here, it hides how my hair actually looks. This is a video about conduits. Has been a big update that is going to come in an upcoming Shadowlands beta. With regards to the Maw and conduits and class and covenant balance, but we're going to focus on conduits because this has been a very big and hot topic among many players, including myself. I had questions and concerns and suggestions, and so we're going to read through this snippet of the post, and then we'll kind of react, give some more feedback, and we'll go from there. So here we go. We've also received a lot of feedback about the conduit system. Many of you have expressed concerns that the current system will unreasonably limit experimentation and multi-spec play early in the expansion. While the existing weekly cooldown may provide sufficient flexibility once players have all 3 soulbinds fully unlocked, we agree that it is initially too limiting. A single weekly reset also fails to draw any distinction between someone who only wants to adjust to a single conduit and someone who wants to clear and rebuild their entire soulbind tree. In an upcoming build, we will be replacing the weekly cooldown on changing conduits with a more flexible system. When first unlocked, the Forge of Bonds will be charged with 10 conduit energy, and replacing a conduit into a socket will consume a single charge. Conduit energy recharges at the rate of 1 per day to a cap of 10, and adding a new conduit to your collection immediately restores 1 conduit energy as well. Our goal with this change is to ensure that, especially when players are acquiring new conduits and only have access to a small number of soulbinds and conduit slots, all players can feel free to try out new upgrades and to adjust their soulbinds to support multiple specializations or activities. After the initial collection period for a given character, 7 or so swaps a week should allow for more adaptation to specific roles or activities, while still requiring thoughtful decisions about how to customize each soulbind for your playstyle preferences. So charges! You're welcome. Sort of. So let me try to... Okay, I kind of have a character up over here. So let's take a look at this soulbind tree right here. Let's see if I can make it bigger. Okay, so we have this soulbind tree, and currently there's like a button off here to the side where we press it, and then it just wipes out all of your conduits, and you're totally clear. Now, I'm on the Torghast beta server right now, so I have everything unlocked and I'm able to buy everything, buy all the conduits. So I bought them all. What's going to happen going forward is that, say, let's pretend that I wanted to move this particular conduit, Ringing Clarity, to somewhere down here. It's going to take a couple weeks for me to even get this far. I'll have a chart available in just a bit, but if I wanted to change that, I don't have to reset my entire tree. I just need to swap, move this thing over, and then my available charges will drop from 10 to 9, and so on and so forth. Now, keep in mind that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's like 7 total conduits per soulbind in each of these trees, and I guess for me, I need to ask myself, okay, how often am I going to be switching out these conduits? Now, Ringing Clarity, I talked about this a couple of times already. This is the very first conduit that you get, and it's pretty powerful because it's related to your Covenant ability, which I imagine that many players are going to be slotting into like this particular slot. You're going to see across all the soulbinds, there's one particular slot that's always a potency slot. So for me, at least, that's kind of a lock. From there, it's just a matter of okay, do I want to always concentrate on throughput like conduits? And I know that as a protection paladin, it's not that big of a deal, but just kind of work with me here. I gotta ask myself, do I always need to have that kind of throughput and performance, or is it okay for me to go for something like barding, which increases my divine steed duration by 50% base? I still think that I still have a feeling that this is going to be nerfed at some point, but it's just a really strong conduit, and one that I'll probably put up here because maybe this particular trait is something that I like and I'm never going to change it, and maybe that's going to be kind of the same thing for any of these soulbinds. But of course, it's so fluid and it's so vague, and every character and every person playing their character is different. We have different play styles. We do, you know, a lot of PvP or a little bit of PvP, but enough that we care about swapping our conduits. It can get very overwhelming. Now, the reaction from some players has been pretty positive. Like for me, I think this is great because it's a compromise between the very stringent 1-week cooldown, which, as Blizzard had described in the article, that it's just, you know, it doesn't quite respect wanting to just change one soulbind, or it doesn't really respect the growth from going down this tree. Let me go ahead and present this this chart right here. This is from WoW Tools, which tells you at Renown level 5, that's when you unlock this third level of traits, which is this third row here. And then at Renown level 8, that's when you get the fourth one. That's when you get this center conduit slot. Now, just for some context, it's going to take about 2 weeks, maybe a little bit under 2 weeks, in order to get to Renown level 8. To get to 15, that's going to add on a number of weeks. To get to 25, that's going to add a number of more weeks. To 31, and so on and so forth. And then there's a last one at 39 that's just not available on this filter here that gets you this particular trait here. But who cares? Because that's not a conduit slot. We just care about getting to Renown 31, which will get you to this 7th or so row. I think the question here is, how often are we going to be swapping out our conduits as we're developing our soulbind trees, as we're getting more soulbinds, as we're building our conduit library? And at least in Blizzard's head, they think that we're not going to be switching them that much. We're not going, you know, there are going to be some people that are going to, yes, we're going to hard farm, go straight to Mythic before the season starts, farm the crap out of this so we can get all the good conduits that we want, farm the rep that we need in order to get the other good conduits that we want, throw them wherever we can. But just keep in mind that at the beginning of season 1, most everyone is going to be, at least according, you know, if we're going with a schedule that Shadowlands launches and 2 weeks later season 1 begins, just about everyone is going to be at, I think, don't hold me to this, but we're going to be at Renown level 9 or 10, something like that. So we're going to have not a lot unlocked. We're only going to have perhaps 1, 2, 3, 4 conduits to work with. And then depending on the soulbind, you might even have less. In this case, if I have Clea, I'm only going to have 3 to work with. So there's kind of a lot to consider when it comes to just kind of realizing, hey, this is going to be, you know, really overwhelming for me. I am definitely going to be switching all the time, every time. But at what point are you going to be doing that? Are you even going to have the conduits here? And this is where it kind of gets murky because of our perceptions of testing. Right now, we have everything is pretty much at our fingertips. We can buy everything that we want. And from that, we may not get the most accurate feedback from people who are reacting to this. We'd probably get a better idea if we didn't have this particular server that allowed us to basically get everything and have everything fully unlocked with a maximum renown level and all that stuff. Now, I do think that this is a very, very good step in the right direction. It's just about what I wanted. Individual swapping charges, it recharges over time, and I think that's great. Getting 1 charge per day, I think, is pretty reasonable. Now, of course, there are going to be occasions, like let's say further down the line, when I do want to make like a big revamp. I want to do a big revamp of all my soulbinds. I want to redo them all, and 10 swaps might not be enough for everything that I want to do, and so that's going to leave me feeling incomplete, and I'm going to have to wait, and that's going to suck. So I suggested this in last week's weekly, but something that I want to add to this. Now we have charges. Let's kindly ask for a little bit more. I would suggest having some sort of way to buy charges, some sort of way to earn more charges faster than the 1-day cooldown. And the solution that comes to mind for me would be Anima. Now, Anima is a resource that is designed mostly for the Covenant Sanctum. It's designed for powering our extra activities, for obtaining fun stuff, for running missions, for upgrading stuff in our Sanctum, and so on and so forth. So it's not really related to player power. It's more related to the quality of life functions that allow us to enjoy some of this outdoor world content. So my suggestion for conduits is to have some way to use anima to add charges. Think of I guess think of anima as war resources or order hall resources. It's something that we might need at first, but after a while, we just have excess, we have massive excesses of these and we start pawning it off to alts. We need some way to dump it. And I think anima is a pretty good resource that we can use in order to buy some more of these conduit charges. I'm willing to make that argument that the people who are going to, kind of the edge case folks, the people who are going to continuously swap out conduits on a regular basis are the same people who probably don't care as much for their Covenant Sanctum. So they're probably going to accrue massive amounts of anima just doing like passive activities like Covenant Callings. That gives them anima. They'll probably kill some rares every now and then. Maybe their Great Vault will have nothing, and so they're going to just choose, well, I might as well get the anima thing because at least I can use that to swap out conduit and so on and so forth. Now, I know it's not the cleanest system. Obviously, the cleanest system would just be to lift the restrictions. But I'm also okay with this compromise because I'm at least pretty conscious of what Blizzard is trying to do here. They're simply trying to create choices. They're trying to pit us against trying to make these hard choices or making thoughtful decisions on how we want to tailor our characters. It's not, hey, we're going to be doing this thing. Well, I guess I better swap everything that I need to, swap all my conduits and my soulbinds and my gear and my talents and so on and so forth so I can tailor to this fight. We already have plenty of knobs that we can turn as a player. Plenty of knobs that we can turn in order to kind of optimize our characters. But I also do believe in a limit as how far that we should take that sort of agency, that sort of freedom to choose pretty much whatever we want. And I think that this is a decent compromise, but enough from me. Like, what do you folks at home and on the toilet think about this? This is a pretty fresh reaction. I stuttered my way through this, so I apologize, but let me hear your thoughts about this in a comment below. Of course, like and share this video if that matters to you, and subscribe for more of this and all things Warcraft. We'll see you next time. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay breezy.